Today is June 20th, 2022, and it's supposed to be another scorcher day today. It was 101 yesterday, and today's supposed to be about the same, but the humidity's supposed to be higher. And Lois just left for dog training class in West Fargo, so it gives me a chance to play some hooky here, and I thought I would play the Edison Opera. This is from 1911, and show the difference between that and what I'm using today with my tablet and light bulb speakers. Okay, these are the cylinder records. And these are 4-minute cylinder records made out of celluloid, and they just go on the mandrel like that. And then it just gets wound up. There's nothing electric on this at all. And again, it's from 1911. And if I wound it up all the way, I could probably play about 4 cylinders on it, but I don't use it all that much, so I don't wind it all the way. And what makes this work is there's a little disc in this reproducer that has a diamond stylus on it, and the stylus rides up and down the grooves, and the sound waves expand out the horn, and that's what makes the music.
After 7 days or so, after seeing every show, after meeting May and Flo, Farmer Brown remarked, I love the cows and chickens, but this is a life, this is a life. I love to raise the chickens while I'm cabareting where the band is playing. I love the homemade cider, but I'd rather have wine. No more picking berries, me for cocktail cherries. This is a life, this is a life, this is a life for mine. I love the cows and chickens, but this is a life, this is a life. I love to raise the chickens while I'm cabareting, when the band is playing. I love the homemade cider, but I'd rather have wine. No more picking berries, me for cocktail cherries. This is a life, this is a life, this is a life for mine. Mrs. Brown, out of town, wrote to her husband and says, please come home, I'm alone. When her letter he read, Farmer Brown took off his coat, sat right down, and then he wrote to his wife a little note. This is what he says: I love the cows and chickens, but this is a life, this is a life. I love to raise the chickens while I'm cabareting, when the band is playing. I love the homemade cider, but I'd rather have wine. Me for wealthy water, dip, there goes another quarter. This is a life, this is a life, this is a life for mine.
Okay, as you can see, this has an automatic shutoff. All this is a little bar that you line up towards the end, and it pushes the on-off switch off. And still sounds pretty good for something all the way back in 1911. And what's so different about this than most cylinder players is the cylinder spins and rides down a rail and the reproducer stationary. And in most other machines, the reproducer travels down the cylinder and the cylinder just spins in place. Now the Edison Opera cylinder player is what I usually play for the customers that come into the frame shop and want to hear a phonograph play. But most all day long for my own listening, I use a tablet with 7 light bulb speakers, and you can see here's 2 on the left, and I put them in phonograph horns. And what I did is cut a tennis ball in half and stick it down the neck of the horn and run a light bulb socket in there. And so then I put the speakers, the light bulb speakers, inside of the socket. And there's 4 speakers up front, 2 way in back, and then a subwoofer on the floor. And the thing I like about the tablet is I can play anything that I want. Just about anything imaginable is up on YouTube. I play everything from this is Annie Lennox to Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and early Jimmy Rogers and you know, early blues stuff, and I can just have a billion songs to choose from at the tip of my fingers with the tablet. And of course with the tablet I can turn it up a lot higher. Or down lower, of course. What's mind-blowing to me is we went from, you know, a 1911 opera cylinder player, which in its day was standard of the industry, and right now there's one up on eBay for just a little under $6,000, and they usually sell between about $3,500 and $6,500, but these days not too many go over $5,000 like they did 20 years ago. But to go from that to this is pretty incredible in really not all that long when you think of, you know, a little over 120 years. And this is a similar reproducer to the one that was in the Edison Opera cylinder phonograph that we listened to first. You can see the diamond stylus right there. And then underneath here is a little disc that vibrates. So Then we went from there to here's what these horns, they're these light bulb speakers look like. And to me it's just mind-boggling that all this stuff ends up to create such an amazing sound. And I can comprehend the idea of, you know, a diamond stylus riding up and down on some grooves and expanding sound waves out the horn, but I can't make heads nor tails how something like this works. It's just boggles my mind to think that you could have a light bulb and a speaker that sounds so good and run out of a tablet that's connected to billions of downloads that, you know, many millions of people put up. And I used to kind of play a game of trying to stump YouTube by putting in real obscure stuff, and it always had somebody that had it out there. And I could find everything from some obscure Gene Autry song to Robert Johnson obscure blues song to a friend of mine from India. I asked him to name somebody that's you know, a musician in India, and he named a guy that played the drums, and I think they were called tangas or something like that. And sure enough, there were many pages of that guy playing the drums on YouTube. So it's pretty amazing to think of how far we've come today. And by the way, a pair of these used to retail for $145, and you used to have to buy a pair when you had, if you wanted 7 speakers, there was one master and then one satellite in a box. And at the time I bought 7 boxes because I wanted to get use one master and 6 satellites. And now they sell single satellites on eBay, and boxes of these with a pair in them are usually nowhere near what they were when these first came out. And but gee, they sound real good. One thing I'm not sure of though is how much the quality of sound is enhanced by putting this light bulb inside of a phonograph horn, because if you were to take the horn off of the Edison Opera, you would hardly hear much at all. It's the horn that expands the sound vibration. So I'm sure there is some effect to the sound by putting a speaker in a horn. And there's what the tablet looks like that I use to choose all the different songs out of. You can see there's just tons of stuff on here. And here's one of my favorites is this one. Of course, they make me listen to commercials because I haven't paid for a subscription to YouTube yet. But this is Riders on the Storm. It's been remastered. When I turn it up, it sounds just like I'm in a thunderstorm. It scares the heck out of the dogs.
Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown, like a dog without a bone, and actor out alone, riders on the storm. There's a killer on the road, his brain is swerving like a toad.
Well, there you get the idea. But I better get back to work and frame some pictures before Lois gets back.